right now, you are wearing an invisible perfume.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't smell it. You definitely can't buy it in a department store, but every single person you interact with today is reacting to it.
Which is wild to think about.
It is. And if you are out there in the modern dating world right now, just exhausted, swiping endlessly and struggling to find a partner who actually understands you, well, this invisible perfume might actually be the exact thing repelling them.
Right, because you could be doing everything perfectly on the surface.
Exactly. You could be saying all the right words, curating the absolute perfect profile pictures, going on endless dates, but fundamentally you're broadcasting a scent that pushes a potential soulmate away.
It is a radically different way to look at human connection, I think, because we are so conditioned to treat finding a life partner like it's some sort of external puzzle.
Oh, 100%.
We think if we just find the right combination of witty banter on a date, or like if we just move to the right city, the puzzle will suddenly unlock.
Yeah, we're constantly looking outward for a solution.
Right, to a problem that might actually be originating from entirely within.
Which brings us to the core of today's deep dive. What if, instead of changing how you present yourself to the world, you just needed an internal energetic update?
Energetic update, yeah.
We are exploring a really fascinating perspective today from Osman. He's a figure known as the blind Muslim yogi.
Right, he's got such a unique background.
He does. He is an energy healer, an entrepreneur, and a yoga and meditation teacher who blends these ancient esoteric sciences with very modern challenges.
Yeah, and our mission today is really unpacking his resounding yes to a very specific question, which is, can a simple daily practice of yoga and meditation actually help you find your soulmate?
And he approaches this not with abstract philosophy, but with what he considers practical energetic mechanics.
Exactly. He claims you can use a deeply holistic approach to fundamentally change who you draw into your life, just by becoming your most centered self.
It's super encouraging. But before we get into the actual mechanics of his 5-minute method, we really need to establish an important caveat from the source material.
Yes, absolutely. We have to mention this up front. Osman is very explicit in his work that the methods he's discussing are natural, holistic therapies.
Right. They are for general wellness.
Yeah, they are designed to bring energetic balance, but they are absolutely not a replacement for traditional medical treatment.
Definitely not.
If you have a physical or psychological medical condition, Osman clearly states you must seek out a qualified, licensed medical professional.
Yeah, so today's deep dive is strictly looking at holistic energetic alignment, right? Not substituting medical advice.
With that understood,
Yeah.
to really grasp how we can optimize our state of being to attract a partner, we had to take a somewhat uncomfortable look at the baseline state most of us are currently operating in.
Right. The default setting.
Yeah, because according to Osman, the default state most people walk around in is exactly what blocks deep, meaningful connections.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second, because the way he describes our baseline human state is incredibly modern and honestly so relatable.
It really is. He doesn't use ancient, dusty terminology for this part at all.
No, not at all. Osman states that a staggering 99% of people are walking around dealing with serious psychological upheavals and imbalances.
99%.
Right. And he says we are currently functioning on what he calls a beta level rather than the optimal alpha level.
The beta level.
Yeah, and his metaphor for this is an introductory model of an artificial intelligence program.
It is a striking analogy if you really think about how software development works. I mean, think about beta software.
It's super buggy.
Exactly. It is the experimental phase.
Yeah.
It is a first draft that hasn't been perfected or patched yet. So what happens when beta software encounters a command it doesn't understand or receives unexpected input?
It just crashes, throws an error code.
Right. Osman argues that most humans are operating exactly like this glitchy software.
Which honestly makes so much sense. I mean, it's like trying to run a high-powered modern dating app, but you are forcing it to run on a smartphone from 2008 with a cracked screen and a battery that dies at 30%.
Yeah, the hardware just cannot process the
It
input.
can't. And Osman points out that most people aren't born with a psychology degree in their pocket.
Right. We don't just inherently know how to cope.
We just don't possess the knowledge of how to flawlessly process everyday stresses. I mean, the demanding boss, the passive-aggressive text message, a flat tire.
Yeah, the daily grind.
We have to learn coping mechanisms from scratch, and many of us are functioning on a major deficit.
This raises an important question, though. What actually happens when we operate in this glitchy, stressed out beta state?
Like, how does it show up?
Exactly. How does that internal psychological turmoil manifest in the physical world where we are, actually trying to date and connect with people?
Right.
Well, according to Osman's framework as an energy healer, this lack of coping skills and chronic stress translates directly into imbalanced subtle life force energies.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm struggling with this a bit. I want to push back here.
Okay, sure.
Because it feels borderline like we are victim blaming people for just living in the modern world.
I could see how it sounds like that.
Right, like if I am working a 60-hour week, trying to pay my bills, and barely keeping my head above water, is Osman essentially saying it's my fault I can't find a date because my aura is bad? Are we just blaming stressed people for being stressed?
That is a very fair critique. But from Osman's perspective, it really isn't about moral blame or assigning fault at all.
Okay.
It is strictly about cause and effect. He isn't saying you were a bad person for being stressed.
Right.
He is just pointing out the reality that your internal chaos does not stay contained within your skin. When you are in that beta state, the tension and anxiety project outward.
It leaks out.
Yeah. And to understand this, we need to clarify what he means by subtle life force energies and chakras. Because, these terms get thrown around a lot without much definition.
Please, yes, let's break those down.
So think of chakras like major traffic intersections in your body's nervous system.
Okay, traffic intersections.
Right. You have these hubs of physical and neurological activity along your spine and up to your head. When traffic is flowing smoothly, the city functions perfectly.
Everything is great.
But if there is a massive accident at one intersection, let's say, emotional stress causing you to physically clench your stomach or tighten your chest, traffic backs up.
You get a gridlock.
Exactly. The energy, the literal biological and neurological flow gets completely blocked.
Wow.
And Osman notes that when people are going through psychological problems, these energetic centers become jammed. An energy healer can sense that heavy, imbalanced aura even from a distance, because the person is physically and energetically broadcasting restriction and stress.
Wait, so even if I put on a nice shirt and smile at my date, if my internal traffic intersections are completely gridlocked with anxiety and stress from my 60-hour work week, my date is going to subconsciously feel that traffic jam.
Precisely.
That's wild.
They might not consciously think, oh, this person's heart chakra is blocked, but they will intuitively feel a lack of ease.
Like a weird vibe.
Yeah, they will feel a sense of friction or heaviness. If you are trying to attract a life partner while broadcasting an experimental error-filled beta energy, you're going to struggle.
You're just pushing them away.
You are unknowingly pushing away the very connections you desire because human beings are incredibly adept at sensing energetic imbalance.
That is slightly terrifying, honestly. The idea that my internal stress commute is practically visible to a stranger's subconscious.
I know, it's a lot to take in.
But we've all had that experience, right? You walk into a room, maybe a party or a meeting, and you instantly feel someone's bad mood before they even open their mouth.
Oh, absolutely. The air just feels thick around them.
So if we accept this premise, that we are all walking around running this glitchy software, projecting our stress and repelling potential soulmates, how on earth do we install the update?
How do we fix it?
Yeah, how do we reach this balanced alpha level?
This is where Osman's approach becomes remarkably practical. He doesn't suggest that you need to quit your job, abandon society, and retreat to a Himalayan cave for 3 years.
Good, because I don't have time for that.
Right. He offers a free 5-minute daily yoga and meditation program. It is available as a download on his website, yogawellness786.com.
Okay, 5 minutes.
And the most radical part of his prescription is that you can literally practice it right in the comfort of your own bed before your feet even hit the floor in the morning.
Wait, 5 minutes? In bed?
In bed.
Well, that eliminates basically every excuse I have, but I need to understand the mechanics here. How exactly does doing 5 minutes of simple breathing and stretching in my pajamas actually fix the beta software problem?
It sounds too simple, right?
Yeah, what is the actual mechanism that turns a physical stretch into an unblocked chakra?
The mechanism is rooted in the deep connection between your physical nervous system and your energetic state.
Okay.
When you are operating in beta, stressed out and overwhelmed, your sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive. You are in fight or flight mode.
Right, constantly on edge.
Your body physically reacts by tensing muscles, taking shallow breaths, and flooding your system with cortisol. This physical restriction is exactly what creates the energetic blockage. The traffic intersections jam up.
So the mental stress creates a physical cage.
Exactly. And Osman explains that his specific yoga system is inherently designed to intervene in that exact process.
By doing what?
By dedicating just 5 minutes to targeted breathwork and specific postures, you stimulate the vagus nerve.
Ah, the vagus nerve.
Yeah, you force your body to shift out of fight or flight and into the parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode.
Okay, I see.
As your physical muscles release their chronic tension and your breath deepens, the biological traffic jam clears. Blood flows, oxygen circulates, and in esoteric terms, the chakra unblocks.
Wow.
You are physically opening the pathways that allow your subtle life force energy to balance itself.
And he makes a really big point that doing this yourself is crucial, rather than just like paying someone to fix your energy for you.
Yes, he really highlights the limitation of relying solely on outside help.
Right.
I mean, an energy healer can clear your blockages during a 1-hour session, but life doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't.
You leave the session, you get stuck in traffic, you receive a stressful email, and boom, the beta software crashes again.
The intersections are jammed again.
Exactly. By having this simple 5-minute tool, you become self-reliant. You can literally pause, reset your nervous system, and balance your own chakras whenever you need to.
But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because once you clear those traffic jams, Osman uses my absolute favorite metaphor of this whole deep dive to describe the result.
It's a great metaphor.
It is. When you finally install that alpha update and balance your energy, he says it acts like a signature perfume.
It is a brilliant way to visualize something that is otherwise completely invisible. We all know how a signature perfume works.
Right.
It enters the room before you do, and it leaves a lingering impression long after you've gone.
Yeah, he says you can think of this balanced aura like putting on an amazing piece of tailored clothing that makes you feel invincible, or adorning yourself with a powerful piece of jewelry that exponentially increases your attractiveness.
But it's totally invisible.
Right. Instead of a physical object you bought at a store, it is your own balanced energy system. It is an aura that cannot be seen by the physical eye, but it is deeply and undeniably felt by everyone in your presence.
And what's fascinating here is how Osman explains the reach of this energy. To illustrate how he believes these unseen connections work, he points to the concept of ESP, or extrasensory perception.
Okay, ESP.
He uses a scenario almost everyone has experienced, the mother connection.
Oh, this is such a great example from the source material.
It really is.
You are going about your day, and suddenly you get into a car accident or you receive some terrible news, and your phone instantly rings.
Right.
It's your mother, and she says, "I just had a sudden feeling. Are you okay?"
And rationally, you wonder how she could possibly know.
How could she know? She's states away.
Osman uses this to illustrate his belief that energetic connections are deeply real, and they are not bound by physical proximity.
Wow.
He argues this happens because a mother has the absolute closest energetic connection to her child, formed during the 9 months of development in a shared energetic space.
That makes a lot of sense.
That profound link doesn't just evaporate when you're born. Energy travels, it connects us. And while you can enhance this kind of perception through yoga sciences, the broader point for our discussion is simply that your energy reaches people.
It reaches them. And when you are wearing that signature perfume, that calm alpha state energy, it doesn't just reach people, it attracts them.
Powerful.
And the source material explicitly points out that this doesn't just apply to dating. It ripples out into your whole professional and social life.
Oh, definitely.
Osman says that when you carry this balanced energy, people naturally become friendlier. They want to be helpful. You become magnetic in a way that helps you close sales, build professional trust, and even secure career promotions.
Because you are projecting safety, stability, and harmony.
Safety, yeah.
When someone's energy is balanced, our subconscious mind reads them as a safe harbor. We want to be around them.
Okay, so wait, what does this all mean for the core mission of finding a soulmate?
Let's bring it back to that.
If we accept that 5 minutes of daily practice clears our internal traffic jams, shifts us out of the glitchy beta state, and drapes us in this magnetic signature perfume, how does the actual math of the dating world change?
It fundamentally reverses the dynamic of how you interact with potential partners.
How so?
Osman explains that when you are internally attractive and carrying this balanced aura, you stop hunting.
You stop hunting.
Right. The modern dating world is built on hunting, searching, swiping, pursuing, trying to convince someone to like you.
It's exhausting.
Osman says you can drop all of that. You simply follow a strategic approach of being yourself, and people will begin to hunt you.
Which is where he brings in the sheer mathematics of this phenomenon. And honestly, it really shifted my perspective.
The numbers are crazy.
They are. He points out that there are roughly 8 billion people on Earth. If your inclination is toward one sex, your dating pool is essentially 4 billion people.
Right.
If you are bisexual, you have the full 8 billion.
A massively overwhelming starting pool.
Exactly. And his point is that when your energy is acting as this powerful signature perfume, your attractiveness increases exponentially. You do not need to attract a large percentage of the population.
No, not at all.
If you attract even a microscopic fraction of a percent of those 4 million people, you suddenly have millions of potential matches drawn to your energy. You go from a state of total scarcity to having an overwhelming number of options approaching you.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture for a second, this mathematical advantage creates a profound psychological shift.
What do you mean?
We need to really look at what scarcity does to the human psyche. Think about what happens when you are functioning in that glitchy beta level, projecting an anxious aura, and experiencing a dating reality of zero choice.
Okay.
When you feel like you have no options, what is your natural reaction?
You panic. You grip tightly to whatever's in front of you. You settle.
You settle. As Osman says, when you lack choice, you are forced to take whatever comes your way.
Yeah, you just take what you can get.
You accept relationships with people who dismiss you, who don't understand you, or who actively drain you, simply because your fear of being alone overrides your standards.
Wow. Yeah.
Scarcity breeds desperation. And desperation is the ultimate beta state energy.
It's the most repelling scent of all.
Exactly. It repels the very soulmate you are trying to find. But when you balance your energy and wear that energetic perfume, you create what Osman calls a plethora of choices.
A plethora of choices. Moving from zero to a plethora.
And that abundance is the true secret to finding a soulmate. Because when you have a plethora of choices approaching you, you are no longer operating out of panic.
You can finally breathe.
You finally have the breathing room to establish boundaries. You can afford to be highly discerning. You can say no to the wrong people because you have absolute confidence that your signature perfume will continue to attract others.
That makes total sense.
You are operating from a place of centered alpha power.
You aren't grasping at the first person who texts you back. You are calmly sifting through the options.
Precisely. And that is how you actually identify the person who truly resonates with your core self. You cannot find your twin flame or your soulmate when you are blinded by the panic of scarcity.
No, you're just reacting.
You find them by attracting many, observing clearly, and choosing the one person whose energy perfectly aligns with your newly balanced state.
I have to say, looking at it through this lens, having this much magnetic influence almost sounds like an unfair advantage.
It really does.
You are essentially hacking the human nervous system and the dating pool with 5 minutes of focused breathing in your bedroom.
It is a profound amount of influence to wield. When you shift your internal state so drastically, you do change how the environment reacts to you. Which is why it is highly significant that Osman concludes his advice with a very specific ethical warning to the listener.
He does. He states very clearly, don't abuse that function, and reminds us to be responsible.
I love that he includes that.
I think that is the most grounding part of this entire philosophy. Once you upgrade your software, once you clear those energetic blockages and find yourself with a plethora of choices, you carry a responsibility.
Absolutely.
You don't use your balanced aura to manipulate people or stroke your own ego. You use it with integrity to find a genuine, resonant connection.
It is a reminder that the goal of unblocking your chakras isn't to accumulate a massive roster of admirers just to prove you can.
Right, it's not a game.
The goal is to utilize that clear, calm alpha state to recognize the one person who is truly meant to walk alongside you.
It totally shifts the paradigm.
Yeah.
So let's recap the journey we've taken today, because the evolution from start to finish is fascinating.
Been quite a ride.
We began by looking at the exhausting reality of modern dating, acknowledging that 99% of us are stumbling through it on glitchy beta-level software.
Yep, the buggy AI.
We are overwhelmed, our nervous systems are shot, our internal traffic intersections are completely jammed up with stress, and we are unknowingly broadcasting that chaotic imbalance to everyone we meet. We are repelling connection.
But the solution we explored isn't a new external strategy or a better dating profile.
No.
The solution is entirely internal. By dedicating just 5 minutes a day to a specific yoga and meditation practice, something so accessible you can do it in bed, you regulate your nervous
All
system.
right.
You physically release the tension that is causing your energetic blockages. You balance your subtle life force energies.
You install the alpha update.
Yeah,
And when you do that, your entire aura transforms. It becomes an invisible, deeply felt signature perfume.
a magnetic frequency.
Exactly, a frequency that completely flips the math of attraction. You stop exhausting yourself by hunting for love. You become the center of gravity and you start being pursued.
Which is the dream.
You move from the panic of zero choice, where you are terrified and forced to settle, to the calm abundance of a plethora of choices. And from that grounded place, you can finally exercise the discernment needed to choose the soulmate that truly matches your frequency.
It replaces the desperate search for the right person with the daily practice of becoming the right energy.
So beautifully said. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought to mull over as you step away and go about the rest of your day.
Okay, what is it?
We've explored how our internal state is constantly leaking out into the world, broadcasting our stress or our peace to everyone around us like an invisible scent. So ask yourself, what kind of scent is your energy leaving in the room right now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
When you walk into a coffee shop or sit down for a date, are you projecting the chaotic, heavy static of glishy beta software? Or are you wearing the calm, magnetic signature perfume of someone who is entirely balanced?
The shift from scarcity to a plethora of choices doesn't start with who you meet. It starts with the energy you cultivate.
Stay curious, keep exploring the incredible potential of your own mind and body, and thank you for joining us on this deep dive.